Hey guys, you're back with Lancer Evo X, and today we're going to look at paint correction. So I purchased my car about 2 years ago, and at the time the seller had indicated that the car had been paint corrected and ceramic coated. Of course, the car had a number of fine rock chips on the front bumper and the bonnet and the guards. It also had a number of little rock chips around the fender area just before where the rear wheels are, where the decal is, you can see there. And so since those 2 years that I've owned it, I regularly washed and polished the car using Bowden's products, which I had felt were quite good. Subsequently, since then, I have started using some products through a distributor called Waxit, so waxit.com.au. I've actually bought a dual action polisher. I've bought some eraser, some boost, and also some purify. So what my aim with this video is, and after looking at several videos online, is actually removing the contaminants from the car's paint, doing a full correction, using a compound to get rid of any swirls, and then doing a polish and then a further refined polish using two different types of compounds and two different types of polish on my car. I've actually done a ceramic coat previously using a Japanese product called Pika Rain, which is quite good, as you'd expect with most Japanese products. But that distributor is no longer available selling products in Australia anymore, and so now I've decided to switch it up a bit, and I'm going to use one called NV Evo, which is quite a premium sort of product in the market. Certainly in the bottle you've got enough to do the car probably twice over, but I would just be applying it once, which I think is actually what the instructions for it actually say to do anyway. So recently I have actually coated my wheels with Pika Rain. It was the last little bit I had left, unfortunately. It is a good product, I do like it, but I've never actually had the time or any of the tools or the patience to look at paint correction. Of course, now because we're in the COVID-19 / coronavirus times and everyone's home, I'm not driving the car very much because I'm working from home like most people, if you're lucky to have a job still. And so I've actually got a bit of time sometimes to now look at doing that. So recently, probably within the last 1 to 2 months, I had got rid of the ugly yellow brake calipers, and I've put them back to a red, which is very similar to the Mitsubishi red. Not a fan at all of yellow calipers on a white car. I think it just looks disgusting. So from sight, it was the absolute last thing that I had to lose the appeal from the previous owner, which makes me quite joyous. So when I actually did that spray painting of the calipers, which was done on the car whilst the calipers were attached to the brake assembly, I did get some overspray on each of the corners of the car. So the first thing I'm actually going to start off by doing is just using some 2000 grit wet sandpaper. So I'm just literally using a spray bottle with vigorous amounts of water to lightly just get rid of all of those little bits of overspray on the car. Now, I've actually done this once before, and I don't know how well it's going to appear in the video because white is difficult to see. Maybe if I put my hand there. So if you follow the ceiling UV light here, you should be able to see, if you follow those fingers, you should see the little scratches from where I've used the 2000 grit sandpaper. So it is difficult to see. It's not, and that's probably what's a sort of a savior for white cars, is that because it's not a deep color, it is difficult to see blemishes in the paint, but it is there, believe me. So whilst this may not be a very good video to do a comparison and show the before and after, I'm just going to just basically briefly detail what I've done, and then just see how I feel about the end result. So first of all, yes, I'm doing a 2000 grit over most of the panels with light water. I'm not concerned about there being light scratches through the car because I'm later on going to use a compound to get rid of that even further. So you might be asking, why am I actually doing that then if I'm going to use the compound? Well, the reason is because I don't want to actually get the overspray into the pad. So I'd rather just use some time and some elbow grease to very lightly get rid of that overspray. Okay guys, so I've just finished doing the 2000 grit all over the panels of the car. So I've got the flash on now whilst the video is going. I'm just here on the back panel of the car again because it's easiest to see because I've got a light above the car. And as you can see there, you can see the swirls that are in the paint. Now, it wasn't this bad, of course, before I put a 2000 grit on, but the purpose of using that, of course, is to assist to get rid of the contaminants, and I can compound buff that out later. So this will just be for reference to show you the before and after when the video is finished. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've just set up the car into the driveway and I'm about to do the pressure wash first, just to try and get rid of any of extra contaminants off the car. Once I've pressure washed it, then I'm going to attach my snow cannon with the product NV Snow. I've just got it mixed at a ratio of 1:8, which is recommended by the manufacturer, and I'm just going to snow the car down. After I've done that, I'm going to be using my fresh hot water bucket here with a mitt to just get any dirt and contaminants off the car, and I'm going to pressure wash it down so that there's no snow foam on the car after that at all. Alright guys, I've just pressure washed it down with the water only, so now I'm going to attach it with my Bowden Snow Foam Cannon, but using the NV Snow product to foam it up. Usually when you turn these on, you have to do a little bit of an adjustment with the nozzles here and this one. Let's see how we go. Alright guys, so now you can see I've got a Bowden's wash mitt here. I'm going to use that to wipe any contaminants I've got off the car. In the bottom of the bucket here I've got a rock grit, which is essentially just a device that can be used to actually stop rocks from circulating inside the bucket, traps them and keeps them at the bottom. Just in case you're wondering when you're watching me wash the car, as you can, I hope it shows the reflection at least down the side of the car here on the right side. Just in case you're wondering, the rocks that are at the top of my driveway is part of a landscaping project that I'm doing at the back of my house. And in order to wash the car and do a detail of this measure, I had to actually wash down all of the rocks last night prior to starting this project, because otherwise the amount of dust and dirt in the air would simply just carry over the car. So in case you're watching this and you've been thinking the whole time, yes, it's been washed down. The amount of brown dirt and dust that fell down the driveway and then was pressure washed off took quite a while, probably about 40 minutes. Nonetheless, it's done. So as you can see, I've washed the car down now. So all of the NV snow is off the car. I've just got to do the muffler at the back here. And the car's looking pretty reflective at the moment. But of course, close up, there's going to be all those fine little scratches from where I wet sanded with the 2000 grit sandpaper. So yes, now I'm going to just quickly do the rear lower bar area and around where the muffler is. The wheels have only recently been ceramic coated by Peak of Rain, and so therefore they only require wash. I don't need to use any sort of Purify or Bowden's Wheelie Clean, any sort of red wheel product that no matter where you are in the world, I don't need that to remove the iron contamination from those wheels. But yes, I do need to use it on the panels. So yes, the NV snow has pulled down and has been wiped off with the mitt, but I need to do an iron decontamination now once the car's dry, so that I can just closely inspect to make sure that I'm getting off as much as I can prior to doing the compound. So the car is actually looking pretty good, as it most usually does once it's got a wash, but it's now ready for the next step. Here we go. So just to give you an idea of how good Pika Rain is, Japanese product. As you can see, the car's not been polished at all. All I've done is NV snow. Wiped it down with a hand towel. And just have a look at that reflection. It's pretty decent. Pretty sad to not be able to get that product anymore. But a lot of people have used NV products. They're very happy with it. It's considered to be another type of professional grade product, so we'll see. Okay guys, so the car's nice and dry now. I've used the air dryer and all the jams and all the crevices of the car. I've basically got it to a point now where I'm ready to, after letting the car sit for a short while out in the sun. I know you can't see it very well. There's not many clouds up there, but there are some clouds that are passing over the top of the house, and so it's sort of sunny and shady, which I guess is good and bad. So what I've got here is just a product called NV Purify. So this is a deionizer, decontaminant. Got it from waxit.com.au, and I've just got some of their all-purpose microfiber towels, nice and soft, Korean quality. Does not appear to be going red. It's been about 30 seconds now, so I'll leave it go for 30 seconds as per the instructions. Perhaps this one doesn't change colour, and I'll wipe it off with the clay mitt. Alright, so that's been about a minute now, so I'll wipe that down. So I can very slightly feel it working free of a glove. This is quite a padded clay towel compared to a clay cloth or clay bar. It's not changing colour in any way as I'm using it. Hopefully you can see that. Alright, so I'm going to pressure wash that off as per the instructions. So yes, it does. So yes, it does actually appear smooth. Alright guys, so I've just sprayed this whole panel here from the edge of the door seam to the edge of the brake lights here. How timely that the, I guess, Scottish or Welsh guy next door is playing his bagpipes whilst this waits. Okay guys, so it's been about a minute now, so I'm just going to give that a good wipe down. Okay, so I can see the difference now. So previously the last Aero quarter panel did not have any redness to it as I was rubbing. There is redness here, so there's obviously some sort of iron contaminant in the panel. So just going to keep going away. Just give you a closer look at that. Hopefully you can see the reddish sort of purplish tinge. It's not very strong. There's not much contamination on this panel. There's nothing on the back as well, so I really pretty much just only had it here on the top. Kind of makes sense, I guess, because that's where air settles towards on the top flat parts rather than on the sides. Not a 100% scientific way of saying it, but that's what's apparent here, and that's what I would expect. Alright, so I'm going to pressure wash that off and also pressure wash the clay towel now, because we don't want to be spreading any of these contaminants around on other panels unnecessarily. So as you can see, I've just pressure washed off the glove. Feels pretty good. Yep, feels pretty good, feels pretty smooth. Just want to make sure that you wash that down thoroughly so that you don't leave any of that product on the panel.